total collapse.
Somalia, at the very tip of the Horn of Africa, a country ripped apart by civil war and bloody feuds between clans. A fragile ceasefire has been declared, but now lawless gangs have taken over the streets of Mogadishu, the once beautiful Somalian capital, today a city of ruins. Those with the slightest chance of getting away have fled, many on foot, many by boat, south to neighboring Kenya. Utange, just north of the tourist paradise of Mombasa, has had to bear the main brunt of this exodus of people from Somalia's cities.
It is a camp that was set up by the government to take the first arrivals that came into Mombasa and in other ports along the coast.
When was that?
About 1.5 years ago. And it was planned for 7,000 people. Now, unfortunately, we have 18,000 people officially in the camp and about 4,000 people outside.
The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is responsible for housing and registering the refugees, while the Kenya Red Cross Society is in charge of running the camp and, together with the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, usually known just as the Federation, looks after the supply of water, sanitary facilities, healthcare and food distribution.
This is one of our food shelters. Here we distribute food. And people come in on one side, they get their different rations, and then they come out here and are supposed to go home. And of course this is also the meeting place. It's like reading the daily newspaper. Here you get the latest news. So it's also a social kind of thing. Here you exchange news, you complain about things, you come up with decisions and so on. So yeah, it's a meeting place, like a marketplace. We have 3 distribution centers here right now. We should have more also, but then we need more volunteers to do the job. And we are still waiting for more volunteers, Red Cross volunteers. To run all the activities we would like to run and do the work quickly, we will need another 40. When the nurses came here, there were a lot of problems. In the new camp, in the old camp, there were maybe 5 people registered on one card. But then relatives came, moved in with them, so they are in actual sense 10 people on 5 rations. And with the ration that is given, 2,000 kilocalories per person per day, it's not enough. So therefore, it's a need for a child feeding center.
This is MCH part, Mother and Child Clinic. And this part here, it's our so-called therapeutic feeding center or wet feeding center. And all these children who we are feeding here, they are somehow malnourished or sick children.
They're very, very difficult to feed to these children. Marasmic children don't have any appetite. They have almost continual vomiting every time you give them food. Their stomach isn't used to. Kin, can you say to this little girl that tomorrow I want to see the mother? Yeah, I want her to bring the mother. Okay? I don't know what we're going to do with you otherwise. Try again. Okay? Come on, Papa. Come on.
There is sugar, milk powder, cereal and oil. And they mix it ready and then they boil it here. And then the children are coming here with their mothers and mothers are feeding the babies.
In each bowl there is about 500 calories.
The camp was handed over to Red Cross some time back, some months back. The problems were very big already because the influx was so very high at that time that they had to adjust for it. But they couldn't keep up with the facilities like toilet, showers and so on. first it was house the people. Now the importance for the Red Cross is to adjust and extend all these facilities. Because these people also, we have to remember, they are town people, they were used to have a sink, a toilet, everything in their house. Now what do you do with your dishwater, the night potty and so on? Exactly, right out on the street. This is not good, especially when people have to walk around it. Now it smells also, yes. And right now it's not very much water actually. Because when we have 2 days of full rain here, this is a lake. And of course, the potential for spreading diseases and so on is great. But there is no type of soakaways, big soakaways in the residential area. Something we have to think about. But priorities, priorities, priorities. Which one first?
Initially, it was a little bit of a problem. I mean, coordinating and making sure that everything goes on. But now that we have at least bigger staff even from the International Federation, technical experts and every aspect where we can be able to consult each other and coordinate the work together, I think I will proudly say that we are coming off the ground very well.
Many people have been helped, but more continue to arrive at Utanga, and the only place for those newcomers is in the bush behind the refuse dump. Many don't have so much as a sheet of plastic to protect them from the elements. It's the rainy season, and malaria is always a problem. While they wait for the possibility of setting up a new camp in this coastal area, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has tried to persuade the new arrivals to move to camps closer to the Somalian border. They won't.
We prefer to die here instead of to go there. And there is two tribalism, anti-tribalism. The Somalis people, they are looking to each other. They have machine gun. They are buried in the ground. So in the daytime, peace, it looks like peace. In the nighttime, even nobody go. So we need peace.
In Utanga, the clans live side by side without feuding. So they come here and they stay here until they can return home.
Your country is better than everything, whatever it may be. So I don't plan to go to America or Europe or anywhere else. You wait here? I wait here, yeah.
The pressure is telling on the host country, Kenya. Drought has led to famine in the northeast. In the west, the tribal conflicts which have driven many Kenyans from their homes continue. At the same time, refugees from neighbouring Sudan, Ethiopia and Somalia continue to cross into Kenya. Kenya is known for its generosity towards refugees, but if it is to manage this situation, it will need help.
We have just launched the Kenya appeal, and it consists of these three components. The major one is the refugee appeal, which is for approximately 75 million Kenyan shillings. Then the drought situation for about 53 million, and the clashes for about 25 million shillings. So all in all, we launched an appeal for 150 million Kenyan shillings. I really hope that people will remember the Horn of Africa, because although there are problems other places as well, people here are depending on help, and the Federation and the Kenya Red Cross can't help if we don't have a good response to the appeal.
This is priority. I don't like to see children hungry.